folks, my name is Janaki. This is Madame Bathsheba. And together we are Catomancy Tarot. Well, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I apologize. I believe this is a long overdue video. With the start of the new year, things just kind of got away from me. But we're here now, and I'm going to do a little bit of a what's in my basket video. So the theme for this basket is just some soft girl things. We're feeling soft, we're feeling tender, we're feeling a little bit dreamy, a little bit romantic. We're kind of in that, we're doing, Pisces things a little bit. So, yeah, that's kind of the vibe. And I don't know about you, but when, winter rolls around, start of the new year, I don't know, I get a really strong urge to hibernate and kind of hide from the world. So I've been hiding a little bit, and so I haven't really been feeling, I don't know, being out in the public spaces, if you will. Um, I've been wanting to kind of keep to myself, kind of recuperate some energy. And it's also the start of a new semester for me, which means I have a full teaching load, so I'm a little bit frazzled. Which is why the theme, we're doing soft girl things. So we're doing, this is, we're doing 5-step Korean skincare. We're watching some hauntingly beautiful, like, romantic movies. We're doing soft girl things. And so that's what I thought the theme for this basket would be. So, as with most of my basket videos, what we're going to do is I'm going to take you some of the decks I've been using. I have a few fun new ones that I'm excited to share with you guys. And then stick around for the very end. We're going to do a collective reading. We're going to think about how we can lean into some softness. So if that sounds good to you, then stick around and let me show you what I've got going on in my basket this month. Alrighty, it really has been a minute, and the year really, I don't know, it started and it went by. It's been gone by super fast, and I had every intention of making this video in like the first or second week of January, and then the semester started, and it didn't happen. So I know we're at the end of February, but I'm going to share with you something I wanted to share with you at the beginning of the year, which was a few goodies I got over the like winter Christmas holiday. And I know the theme is kind of like we're feeling soft, we're feeling gentle, we're feeling tender. And these are I mean these are my, I now have a pair of Christmas decks which I received as a gift from my mother, and I think they're the perfect Christmas decks. And I think that there is like a softness to the holidays. There's something that feels really fun and special about these. So this is the Russian Tarot of St. Petersburg, which has been, sometimes I just have a hard time pulling the trigger on mass market decks. But this is one that's been on my radar for ages and ages. And it's lovely. It's lovely. And my mom's side of the family is Russian Polish. And so this deck feels like very Christmassy, and it's really quite beautiful. And I'm really glad it's now in my collection. And then I found the perfect oracle deck to go with it. This is the Golden Oracle of Nostradamus. This is a Los Scarabeo deck. And it's a really tiny oracle. There's not a lot of cards, and it's one of these oracle decks that's like very traditional. So it has a lot of kind of like traditional cartomancy type symbols. And then the booklet itself isn't super helpful, but because the symbols are very symbolic, it's not too hard to read. But This deck feels a little bit like it feels like a Christmas ornament deck. Like all of these feel very Christmas ornamenty to me. Um, in any case, yeah, so I was able to do some fun little kind of Christmas readings with these guys, and even the backs are kind of very festive. And yeah, I really dig them. I think they're quite beautiful. And they bring me a lot of joy. And yeah, they feel, it is no longer the season. But I thought I would just start off the video by kind of playing catch up with you guys a little bit. Like, come on, look at these guys. Don't they look perfect together? Oh, I love it so much. I think it's super sweet. Super sweet. I think this might be my favorite card in the deck. This is the Chimera. Love a Chimera. I just love the weird little guys, right? All right. So those were some holiday acquisitions, some holiday faves. Just wanted to kind of you know, I missed the opportunity window, but in terms of filming and making things timely, but hey, that's okay. We're gonna meet ourselves where we're at, because that's part of the soft thing. And the other really fun thing that I got over break was this little ritual oil set. It's kind of little perfumes, and it was boxed very beautiful. I think this is from a little sort of like occult perfumery in Philly called Venus Invictus, and they've got little scents like Ophidian Relic. We've got Fields of Asphodel. We've got Temple of Belladonna. How do you say this? Stygian Oath, Verdant Arcadia. So that was really fun. That was another fun little. It's fun to get these little discovery kind of kits, so you can smell things and then you can try them on. But this was also, as you'll see, there's a little bit of a running theme. There's a little bit of a running kind of like ancient Greek sort of vibe for whatever reason in the decks I've been using, and this little set has been part of that vibe I've been feeling. So I thought I would share that with you as well. All right, so the first deck that kind of, well, the deck that's kind of been really I've been living for recently has been the Seashell Oracle, which I talked about in probably my last couple videos. And it's been getting a lot of love on online, and I first saw this on Sasha Lopez's channel, and I just completely fell in love with it. And yeah, this is kind of, I've just been feeling a little bit like a I don't know, clam, wanna shell up and hide away. But this has been, I don't know, this is totally the vibe right now. Everything is just kind of this like sort of soft pastels. We've got some ancient ruins, and the sea is just running through us. And there's, yeah, I've been really inspired by some of this kind of like ancient architecture. And if you know any other decks that have like this kind of like ancient ruin architecture vibe going on, do let me know. Because I've been on a kick with it recently. And it's also felt there's something about the theme of this deck. Like, what do we have to learn from seashells? This feels like a very Cancer kind of deck, because it's all about being hard on the outside and kind of tender on the inside. So I've been loving this one. And then I've been using this deck alongside several others, so I wanted to show you some pairings. I did some really fun like New Year's readings with this combination. So here we've got the Dolly Tarot, and this is a deck that also has a lot of just a lot of, I don't know, built-in softness to it, even though it's a little bit surreal, but it's kind of like very painterly. But there's, yeah, the kind of just softness of the marks, and it feels a little kind of a little romantic. And I did some really fun. I did a couple really fun like year ahead spreads, and one of the year ahead spreads I often do is actually, it's the one by Biddy Tarot actually, and they have a year ahead 12 card spread that I often think is a fun thing to do, which is different than like you may have seen in my like planner video, there was 22 Teachings has like a really big like 78 card wheel of the year type spread, which is fun, and I keep that up always, but that's different than the kind of year ahead spread that it's only 12 cards, which makes it and it's not just like each position isn't just, you know, month by month. It's actually, you know, it's a reflective and it looks ahead. So, yeah, I used this combination for my a dear friend's sister when she came to town, and it was really lovely. So that was a good combination. And then I've also just been, you know, whenever I'm feeling like overwhelmed or overstimulated or just kind of like feeling soft and gentle, I'm not reaching for a ton of decks. I'm reaching for my like favorite decks of all time, and my favorite deck of all time is easily the Spolia. And so that's been another, you know, another card that's been in the rotation, and I just think that these decks go so well together, from just like the cream borders to the, I don't know, the little colored inner borders. They also feel very very soft, and I reach for the Spolia like all the time, and sometimes it's like the only deck I can like manage to use. Ooh, I love this combination. Oh, oh. And yeah, sometimes, I don't know, this year's been really busy, and I haven't been doing like a ton of readings with tarot. It hasn't been so far. 2024 hasn't been a big tarot year for me, which is crazy. I know, right? I'm writing a whole dissertation on it. I've got this channel. I'm like usually super obsessed. But right now, I don't know. It hasn't been doing it for me. Sometimes I just get sucked into like other interests. I get obsessed with other things, and then I just get really busy, and then when I'm really busy, I'm overstimulated, and then I just can't get into it. But I will say that there's been a few decks that have been standouts though, regardless of that. And one of them is a out of print guy that I've wanted for a very, very long time. And that's the Transformational Tarot by Arnel Ando. I think this deck originally came out, I think it was maybe, it was an indie deck when it first came out in like the 90s, and then it was picked up Yeah, it was originally published in 1995 by Inkwell Publishing, and then US Games picked it up in 2005, like a decade later. And I found a brand new copy online, which I was super stoked about. And I thought it would be perfect for this kind of this kind of like seashell sea, sea seashell softness, this kind of I don't know, I saw I think this deck might be Rose Bay Tarot's favorite deck, and then I know that she got BB from Pure Red Velvet and Meg from Rose Honey Ritual into this deck, and I started to see it on their channels, and I was like, oh man, I had the FOMOs, so I found a copy, and it is very soft, but it's also a little bit bizarro, and I think for me, some of the images are a little bit more successful than others. Like, I'm really digging these kinds of cards, this kind of softness, this kind of like, this looks like Artemis, right? This sort of like ancient forum, flowy drapery kind of cards, and less so like there's some cards in here that feel like this card, and like there's some cards in this deck that just feel like very silly, and like they're doing the contemporary in a really strange way, and like I really don't like it. I don't, it almost reminds me of that other super weird collage oracle tarot deck, the German one, the Flying Hearts Tarot. I have a video of that deck, but it has similar vibes with some of those cards. And what I was really after were these kind of more, these kind of softer, sort of, I'm not sure which art style this is, but that's kind of more what I was kind of after. And so for me, this deck is it's mostly a hit. It's mostly a hit, but I it's very soft. It's very fun. It has it. The other thing about it is it has some. I mean, it's a '90s deck, so it has. This is exactly the card I was going to talk about. It does some weird things with the way it represents like racial minorities, which I think, you know, when you're getting a deck from the '90s, or any kind of vintage deck, that's just comes with the territory a little bit. So I have a little bit more, yeah, I'm willing to, I have, you know, sit with it more than I would decks that, you know, contemporary decks that come out with this. But when your sort of only representation of black folks is also including the KKK, like I don't love it. And I think in the little guidebook, this is the Ten of Swords, and so this is supposed to be a card about like overcoming the terrors of history, which, you know, that kind of works. We can kind of see that, but at the same time, you know, uh, when it's the Ten of Swords, it this is all often something about like something being over, the end of something. So, you know, the end of this kind of persecution. But as we all know, it's 2024 and these issues are still on the table. So, you know, we haven't fully overcome anything yet. But anyways, I don't know. That's me just being I don't know, an anthropologist kind of trained to spot these things, and then it comes up in a deck when I just wanted like soft girl things, and then it's suddenly barbed wire and the KKK, and I'm like, well, that's it's not quite what I was looking for, but I'll sit with it. I'll sit with it. I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about when cards like that pop up. Curious to hear your thoughts, but otherwise, I've been enjoying the color palette and the sort of softness of this deck. So yeah, and the other deck I've been really enjoying using the Transformational Tarot with is another collage deck, and that's the Runners of the Sun Oracle. I got this deck last year, and I have a lot of, I'm a big collage nerd. You guys know that. And I don't know, for whatever reason, it inspired me to get this this deck out again. Mainly, and I'll show you, there was a card combination. The first time I used these decks together, I had this card combination come up. And these cards have just been sitting on my altar ever since. Like sometimes you like do a card combo, and then it feels like these cards were always made to be together. And that's how I feel about these cards, the Healing and the Alchemy as Temperance. This is exactly the vibe of the month, or 2 months, or I don't know, wherever we are in space and time, but this is what I've been feeling. So that's that's some of the things that this sort of combo have been offering me. And yes, this feels a lot more contemporary than the Transformational Tarot has been, but still very I don't know, soft and fun, I think. And I think it works. I think it's kind of fun together. I don't know. What do you guys think? I've been digging it. So the other deck, once I got this one out, there's sometimes when you buy a tarot deck or you get a tarot deck, and sometimes, again, like I can feel really overwhelmed or like overstimulated, or just like sometimes you get a deck and it's like you're not ready to work with it. And so I got this deck last summer. I bought some decks from Honey Lou, and she kind of threw this one in at a discount, and I was like, sure, I'd love to take this one. And it's a very contemporary collage deck, but I think at the time I was just feeling like this is a deck that has a lot of kind of like very busy imagery, which is fun, and I'm now really enjoying it. But I think at the time when I first got it, it was just like a little too much. But now I think it fits in this kind of family of I don't know, soft girl collage. And I think I know this. I first found out about this deck on Meg's channel. She did a really I don't know, for her this is a very kind of emotional deck, or she was very inspired by the creator's story. And isn't this cute? It's so cute. It's really cute. And so I think this is a deck that there's some images that I absolutely adore from it. And then there's some images that feel a little bit too much. I don't know, but I've been really, I think this is definitely the time for this one. I love all the cowboy stuff in it. Yeah, and I think it's a really fun deck to read with, because I think there's a lot to make of the images. Oh, here we go. Can you imagine a more perfect card combo than these two together with the pink poodles? Come on, this combo is just it's everything. It's so cute. It's so sweet. And it's the Seven of Cups and Imagine, right? Exactly. Exactly. That's completely the vibe. Yeah, so we're in our kind of strawberry shortcake era. We're in our Imagine All the Poodles era. um, I don't know. Yeah, it's bringing some joy and some, I don't know, some softness. Yeah, so I'm glad I finally got around to working with this one, because I think, yeah, I'm finally really actually feeling it. These two cards feel like very different, but they're two of my favorite cards in the deck. We have our Queen of Cups here, and then we have this really interesting Seven of Swords. I don't know. They're really something. And yeah, there are cards that, like, I don't know, some of these kind of cards feel a little bit more, I don't know, they feel kind of jumble dancey to me. Which is to say, they feel a little bit more like arts and craftsy, a little bit more like kids arts and crafts, which is fun. But there's other cards, like, I don't know, there's some cards in the deck that just feel a lot more kind of refined and mature, that I gravitate towards a little bit more. But yeah, this has been another really fun one, that I'm really glad I finally got around to using. And oh, yeah, so I'm not actually showing you guys a ton of decks this time. She says that she shows you like half a dozen. But these are really kind of just the family of decks I've been sticking to. And now the other deck that I've still been really getting a lot of mileage out of is this one. This is the Abaton Keys Oracle. And I just posted a video that I made back in January, but I just posted it now, where I went through and rebacked this deck and made it this nice little, this new home. So this is the Abaton Keys by Patty Allen. This is what the original backs of the deck look like. And I rebacked it in this like soft pink marble, and I'm so happy with this mod. Like, I love this mod so much. And this Oracle deck, it feels, again, keeping with the very soft kind of collage-y, we're kind of doing ancient Greece. I mean, with this one, she's talking about ancient Greek sleep temples. And it's one of the reasons it's like it skyrocketed to a fave oracle of mine is because the guidebook for it is so good, and I'm gonna try and articulate some of the reasons why I think it's so successful for me, because as we'll see with another oracle deck that I want to talk about. And comparing why I don't like that Oracle guidebook as much as this one. And I'm trying to pinpoint why I'm so picky or weird about guidebooks, especially for oracles. And what I like about this deck is that we get the keywords, first of all. There's a number of things. First of all, a lot of the images we do get a lot of vibes from. I don't know, the little baby in the little nest. That's a very evocative image. And then we get the word trust, and we all automatically, all of the keywords for this, it is one of these like kind of like, and I was looking for this sort of, you know, fluffy sort of new agey oracle, where it's just kind of, a lot of the keywords in this aren't actually that special, like purification, trust, flow, insight, alchemy, journey, messages, the golden mean. Like none of them are gratitude. Like they're all kind of very standard. But then what the guidebook does is it takes that keyword and then and it does have 4 suits, and then it gives us kind of an ancient Greek keyword. So for like this suit of drama, we have like the choreogus. We have all of these. We get facts. I'm an anthropologist. I love me some facts about the ancient world. So it's like facts about catharsis and the sort of historical cultural context of where that kind of idea came from. And then it has a message that's kind of more like, okay, so here's the keyword, here's an ancient world thing, and then the message is kind of like, how do we take that into a little bit of a, like, what's the divinatory meaning for you now? And I think that's really successful for me. And I love, you know, we've got some actual inscriptions from 380 BCE. Love it. You know, like it's really good. I really love it. Anyways, so yeah, this has been another. You can tell, along with, you know, like the along with the seashell oracle, like it's the same kind of soft color palette collage collage deal with some ancient Greek stuff. It also goes really well with the transformational tarot. It's got a similar kind of collagey vibe to it. So yeah, love it. Really, really dig it. And yeah, so that's this, you know, I've made videos about this deck already, so I don't think I really need to say more than that. And it also kind of inspired, you know, this sort of like ancient Greek theme in this, I don't know, in this vibe, which inspired me to, you guessed it, pick up this deck. And this is the Odyssean Tarot, by this is one of the is it Chris Wilkin? Is that his name? One of the Wilkin decks. And I wanted to love this deck really badly, but what ended up happening with this deck is I got it. I was stoked. I thought it would go perfectly with my other kind of like, I don't know, the soft, we've got the soft seaside with the seashells and kind of like the, I don't know, the ancient kind of architecture thing going on. I thought it would go super well, and it does. But sometimes, and I got this like right at the start of the new year, right when the semester was starting, and I just quickly got really overwhelmed. And then this deck, this deck is huge. So this is a standard tarot card size, and you can see it's very large. It's bigger than these oracle cards, or it's the same width but just a lot taller. And for some reason, I just got like visually very overwhelmed. Like I opened the box and I was like, oh, this is a whole thing. And I haven't really worked with it. But I still think it's really beautiful. It is one of these kind of like mixed method sort of AI decks where he's using a lot of different types of techniques and he's like polishing them. But one of the things that I don't know, that I get overwhelmed by, or get, I don't know, that sometimes throws me out of a deck is when you have different, like this image, the quality the quality seems to be higher, and then this image seems a lot more kind of like zoomed in, and I don't know, the quality doesn't seem to be as crisp as this one. I don't know if you can see that. I know that's super duper nitpicky and weird, but yeah, I didn't realize, it's my bad. I didn't realize it would be so huge, and I'm also not sure how I feel about the size of the borders, because the borders are just really, really prominent on this one. And I feel like my issues with I don't know, if the images themselves were a little smaller, I think some of the like, the quality of the images would be a little bit better. I don't know. People have been loving this deck, and I just got really overwhelmed by it. This is another one where I think you can really see a difference in, I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but alas. But I need to so I think I would work with this deck more if it was smaller, and yeah, because it does break the frame sometimes, it would be hard to trim, and you do get the little, so I've thought about trimming it, but then again, I just get really, really overwhelmed. I love this card. So yeah, some of the images are just super beautiful. I just haven't felt, I think I really wanted this to be the vibe because of everything else, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But yeah, I know people have been really loving this deck, so I think I just, it's like, you know, like when I first got the Aquamarine Tarot, I just felt really overwhelmed by it, and I couldn't really use it. I think I'm still feeling a little bit overwhelmed by this deck, and I'm sure at some point in time I'll be like, really into it. But right now it just feels, it feels too much, too big. Even though some of the images are, I don't know, they are very soft. Maybe I need to get, Thea's deck in addition to this one. I know I do. It's been on my wish list for ages and ages. So yeah, that's, you know, not all decks are like an immediate hit. And this one for me, I need to sit on it some more. So the last deck I wanted to show you is this one. It's called Mother Witch by Natasha Khan of Bat for Lashes, and this is a oracle deck. Now, this is a deck I've wanted since I found out about it, which is last fall, like before it even came out, and I waffled on it for ages and ages, because it's a pricey little deck. It ships from the UK. So I feel for all of you UK tarot folks who have to pay like international shipping costs all the time, because it's spendy. But this is the only deck that I got for February. I got it as a little Valentine's present for myself. And I got my very first YouTube paycheck. So thank you all for your lovely viewership. You have sponsored this lovely present to myself. So thank you. So this is a black and white illustrated deck, and I love the style and the look of the illustrations. I think they're so cool. There's just this kind of like energy and vitality to the line work. And what's kind of interesting in this deck is that, as you'll see, many of the cards, like we've got our Theremin Sorceress, Princess of Denial, we've got Vampire Desire. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. But we've got a lot of like, I kind of went through, and over half the deck are these kind of character cards. Like we have Spice Maiden, Tornado Girl, and some of them are really fun, and some of them I'm not really sure what to do with. And so like, even though I love the artwork in this deck, and I love most of the cards, it's not an oracle deck that's like ready to go with just the cards. Like it because so many of them are these character cards. Like if you get the Spice Maiden, or some of these characters, I'm it's not kind of immediately clear how to read them. My favorite cards in the deck are actually the ones like this one, the Quest, where it's like as if this comes up in a reading, I know what to do with it immediately. But when I have Three Witches or Sirens of the Key or Winged Aunties, I'm like, I'm not too sure. What do they mean? And then we go to the guidebook, and the guidebook is kind of fun. I'm just like weirdly picky about guidebooks, and that's really on me. That's really on me. So if we take a look at, I don't know, maybe let's look at these Winged Aunties and see what they're about. And so, I do like some of the keywords, like chosen family, communal love, sanctuary, and then we basically get, for a lot of them, it's like a character description, so a description of the images, and then we get, and this is, I'm just being weird and nitpicky, but we get potion, ritual, and oracle. The potion, it's not a potion, it's just like the message. So I think, we should call it the message. And then she does write a cute little ritual for each of these cards. I'm not someone who, like, there's a lot of decks coming out these days that has like suggestions for different kind of ritual practices, and I think that's great. They're just usually not for me. But one thing I do really like is that at the end it's oracle, which again, I don't, it's kind of suggested media. So we've got a movie, and we've got a couple songs here to go along with this. So, so in order to kind of really be able to use this deck in readings, you have to be able to kind of like dive into the guidebook a little bit, which is okay. I just kind of, I don't know, sometimes I just wish that there was a little bit more to, I don't know, an intermediary between kind of like when this comes up in a reading and then like, I don't know, this image. I guess it's chosen family. Like it's just yeah, so I don't know. I like decks that you can kind of like use without the guidebook. And for this one, I think I'm still, still getting to know, still getting the hang of. But I think the images are really, really cool. And yeah, some of them, like the Tangled Tower, Star Seance, some of them I like a lot. It's just that most of the deck are these like character cards, and you kind of have to like imagine them. There's that tag that's going around about storybook decks. I think this is like would be a great, I haven't actually watched that tag yet, so I've seen it out there. I'm not sure if I'm interpreting it correctly, but this feels like a storybook deck to me, where it's just like rich and full of these characters. Especially like this card in particular looks like, it reminds me of like Tove Jansson illustrations. She was the illustrator of the Moomins. You know the Moomins? Love the Moomins. But that's kind of what it kind of reminds me of. This is probably my favorite card in the deck, with this little bathtub here. I think this, this might be a good card to kind of end our soft girl vibes with. If you know anything about me, you know I'm obsessed with taking baths. So I love this card. My new recent, special interest fixation has been Korean skincare. Um, so I've been having a lot of fun this month, getting into the bath and doing my little toner pads, my little Korean skincare routine. That's been fun. Oh, and then I also have a some media recommendation. Um, uh, thinking of the bathtub. There's been like two queer movies with like insane bathtub scenes. The first one is not the one. The first one is, of course, you know the one. You know what I'm talking about. If you know, you definitely know about it. It's the Saltburn movie. I won't say anymore. You don't need to watch this one, but like, boy, howdy, will I never forget that scene. The one I'm actually talking about and want to recommend to you guys is it's All of Us Strangers, which is a beautiful, beautiful movie. It just came out on Hulu. It's starring Andrew Scott and Paul Mescal, and it's just this haunting, devastating, like queer ghost story of like a romance. It's all about like healing from trauma. It's really, really intense, but it's like tender and beautiful, and there's just a really steamy bathtub scene if you're into that. And like it is a movie where if you're already feeling sad, do not watch this movie. But if you're ready to go on like a healing journey with this movie, like you have to watch it. It's so good. Anyways, that's kind of yeah. I'm also I'm playing around with like finding some good pairs for this deck. Um, and so far, the one I've kind of settled on is I think it needs like a black and white deck for a friend. And I don't actually have that many black and white decks, so I've been using it with this one, which is Spirit Speak by Mary Evans. And it's just a cute little black and white doodle deck. And I'm trying to find, I think it'd be fun I think it has a similar energy, just illustration wise. Right? I think that's kind of cute. I think it's pretty cute. So this is what I've been kind of pairing it with. I'm, I'm not in a, I'm not in like a, I think, I'm not feeling the urge to right now to like go out and get many more decks. I feel like I'm reaching a sort of a saturation point. There's not that many more decks that I actually feel strongly called to, but I'm trying to just be happy with this pairing instead of like deciding that it's a sign that I need to get another black and white deck. But if I did get another black and white deck, the two ones I'm considering are the Morgan's Tarot, which is the round circular one, and they have that in like there's a smaller edition that's out. So I've been curious about that one for ages and ages. And then also there's the Many Queens Tarot, which I think would also be, you know, super cute. So I don't know. I'm just playing with this one for now. And it's been quite fun. I do feel like overall, I wish this Oracle deck had more cards. It's only a 40 card deck. It's kind of spendy. The guidebook in some ways, I don't know. You can see from all of the like promo videos or promo pictures she has on her website that the way she's holding the deck and like the way the cards are displayed, sometimes it looks like more like an art object than it does like a usable Oracle deck. And I think that's my overall like, if I had to say like one kind of critique, is it feels like more like a art project than it does like this will never be like a workhorse Oracle for me. But it's just all vibes, and I really appreciate it for that. And right now, I just want vibes. I do wish, the backs are a little branded, I don't know. But yeah, I've been digging it, and that's all I'll say about that one. So if you want to stick around, feel free to do so, and we're gonna do a little collective reading. All right, for our little reading today, I thought I would use our little seashells and the Transformational Tarot. And I'm just going to do a short little spread that this is a spread that I reach for if, um, it's kind of my simplest 3-card spread, but I like to do it with two decks, an oracle and a tarot, so it ends up being 6 cards. But it's just, it's a spread that I learned from Naha at 22 Teachings, and it's a spread that I reach for whenever I just need something short and sweet, something that's not going to be like too overwhelming, something to just like feel a little bit grounded in, and it's the something to embrace, something to release, and a little message from the universe. And we're going to do that today, and we're going to pull a card, you know, something to embrace, something to embrace that will help us kind of soften, something to release, to let go of that will help us, soften a little bit. And then we've got a little bit of a message from an overall message for us today. All right, we're going to add in our little transformational tarot. Now, when I first got this deck, the cards were super sticky, and I invested in some fanning powder, which you can get. It's something that magicians use, as in magicians who pull rabbits out of a hat type of magicians, and not, ceremonial magicians like I'm more familiar with. But it works, and yeah, if you have a sticky deck, I would recommend it. Anyways, here we go. We're gonna draw our cards here. So we have something to embrace, something to release, and a little a message for all of us. So let's take a look here. So something to embrace. Ooh, we've got the Siren and we've got the 9 of Cups here. Ooh, I love how these soft lady faces are in conversation with one another. So let's see here. Siren, temptation, deception, irresistibility, and we've also got the 9 of Cups here. So in the spirit of doing soft girl things, the 9 of Cups is often about allowing yourself to take care of yourself. It's like, a little bit of alone and pampering time. And we've also got the Siren. So I might say that now might be a good time to, I don't know, perhaps give in to some temptation. Perhaps, maybe there's some things that you are feeling drawn towards, or there's some things that are feeling a little bit irresistible. And sometimes, if you're on a a voyage, and you're like Odysseus, and the sirens are really detracting from where you're trying to going, maybe there's sometimes when it's good to kind of plug your ears and fill them full of wax and pretend you're not being called. But depending on what that temptation is, if they're tempting you towards things that are not beneficial, then maybe that's when you need to pull the wax out. But maybe now's the time to, I don't know, we're feeling soft, so we're allowing ourselves to explore some of the things that we're feeling that call towards, right? So embrace the siren. Embrace the siren a little bit. Let's see here. So something to release. Oh, we've got the surfer and we've got the 3 of Cups. Ooh, interesting. Let's see here. So with the surfer, some of our keywords are excitement, passion, skill, and then we've also got our little Three of Cups here. So what I'm kind of getting from this is that you know, so if we're releasing the Three of Cups, sometimes you know, sometimes we can get energy, we can feel recharged by, you know, being around people we love. You know, it's the Three of Cups. It's sociality. It's, you know, it's some girl time, or some, you know, time with some loved ones, right? But what I'm getting from here is sometimes the surfing is something, I guess, that you're uh, uh, just notice the waves in which sometimes this kind of interactions with people can feel really nourishing and replenishing, and sometimes we might feel, you know, the tug and pull of needing to be alone. And maybe what might be more recharging at this time is doing something that you feel really good at, that you can kind of do on your own, and allowing, you know, surfing is something that I don't know. I don't surf. I've not surfed, but I imagine it's something that, you know, when it's just you and the ocean, and you're doing something that you're good at, or, you know, there's this real kind of pull, and there's a way that that can be kind of replenishing in and of itself, even if you're, you know, even if it's just you that day and there's no one there to like see you do well, or see you catch that wave. Maybe it's time to yeah, embrace a little bit of some solo time. And then let's take a look at our overall message here. Ooh, we've got the Six of Swords, and we've got the Clam. Happiness, humility, quietude, and we've got the Six of Swords, which is this kind of, you know, we've made it to the other side of something. And happy as a clam, right? So this feels like some recovery time. The sixes in the tarot always, to me, feel a lot about recovery, right? We've just made it through the difficult, you know, the fives, and for the Six of Swords, it does feel like the journey. You've reached the other shore, right? And there's some like happiness to knowing that you've made it through something. And you know, the clams are, you know, they're self-contained, they're hiding in the sand, they're hanging out, right? So yeah, allow, and it also, it's humility, quietude. So it's this, like, you know, it's not the Six of Wands, which is this kind of like triumphant, kind of like throw yourself a parade kind of happiness. It's more of the happiness that comes from knowing that you've gone through something, and now that you've there's time and space to kind of to recover a little bit. So that's our little that's our little reading on feeling how to be a little bit soft with ourselves. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.